Okay, guys, it's your boy Dark right here. Dark Raikou here with What If Issei Lost the Booster Gear Part 2. Now, before I go on with this What If, I should mention one thing. I did eat a lot, and mostly a bunch of chips. Don't worry about that, and some other stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of full. But I was also kind of getting attacked by my siblings from the fact they didn't want to wash the dishes. But whatever. I'm hiding right now in my house. Far away from them, okay? But not the point. Let me begin into the what if. Let me shut the fuck up, but yeah. So, let me begin into where I last left it off. We go into Issei right now on top of a building. Mostly, not really on top of a building. The pretty much the top of the most, tallest building right now. This is where, well, they're actually in Tokyo, not in, actually, Kuo. They're mostly on top of a scraper, but yeah. This is where, well, they're looking over, of course, it's right now dark. But of course, where, well, Issei is in the very top right now looking over everything. This is where, well, next to him is none other than his, well, mostly left-hand man. That being, well, Murahama, who has the moral power of Judge Q, mostly Joker. And of course, his right-hand man being, well, Masui, who has mostly 108 not sacred treasures, mostly national treasures and weapons most of the time that he can use from a pocket dimension, but don't worry about that. But yeah, of course, this is where, well, they're right now just on top of this place, kind of looking around. Now, of course, they're really pretty much what they're doing is just waiting out the battle, or mostly going to kind of get rid of some people that are pretty much connected to the underworld. Mostly rich, powerful people. And that's mostly usually kind of like chief gangster bosses or some other stuff that are pretty much connected to the underworld or mostly to the fallen angel or even what's it called, some of the angels. They're getting rid of these people just because they would give less power and resources to that of the supernatural. So yeah, this is where, well, it's mostly in Tokyo. There's a lot of them in Tokyo. There's also a lot of them in Kyo, but there's mostly in Tokyo because Kyo is actually run by, well, mostly yokais. Tokyo is run by mostly mafias, but yeah. Well, not really. Mostly underneath mafias, but yeah. Mostly underneath gangster mafias, whatever. You get the point. But pretty much they're just getting rid of half of these people because, well, mostly Coco Bean has asked for, well, Issei to do that. Because Coco Bean doesn't really trust, Issei that much. And Issei doesn't trust Coco Bean at all. So yeah. But Issei has just been told of, well, mostly given a map and told of a bunch of locations of people who actually support the underworld devils. So of course, Issei is literally just going to eliminate them without a care in the world. He doesn't care if they support the fallen angels or the angels. Pretty much, he would just get rid of all of them. So yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, so you ready, guys? Like, just go slaughter them all. This is where, well, mostly Judge Q, which Matsui Murahama are now kind of have code names. So, well, Matsui has a code name as, well, mostly, so Matsui's code name is The Blades. So yeah, that's just going to be his code name. Now I know it's a movie, but shut the hell up. But of course, it's just because he has multiple blades at the time and multiple weapons. So yeah. Well, Murahama is called the Joker because the fact that he has the Joker power, and Issei is called Shark. So yeah, his code name is Shark, but it's Shark or Greed half the time. But yeah, whichever they can just call him, but whatever, mostly Shark. But yeah. So of course, this is where they all jump off the skyscraper in an instant. This is where Issei jumped off and knows he can land down on the ground pretty easily, kind of just cracking the ground and doing it like a super villain or something. Well, Matsui and Murahama disappears also in an instant, mostly through a card. Like, he activated his bar power and threw the card in an instant, and he just switched places with the card. Pretty much the card smashes upon a building, and of course he just teleported. He switches places. Now, I know Q can't do this, but I'm just going to give him the ability. This is where they switch places. The Joker card actually appear on top of the skyscraper, and this is where, well, mostly Matsui sighs, and this is where Matsui says, well, time to get down there. First, pull out a beer bottle. Yeah. So he's drinking right now, and this is where, well, he's just jump off. Whee! This is where he smashes onto a tree and says, "I landed perfectly." But yeah. But of course it worked well. That is happening, and of course it worked well. What the hell? This is where, well, we go into, well, Matsui, Murahama, and Issei. Right now going down to mostly the underneath of, well, the whole war crime. But yeah. We go into right now Matsui. Matsui was the last one to get down from the skyscraper. But this is where Matsui managed to find all the gangsters that were in, well, if you think of it, mostly Tokyo will be kind of, okay. This is how I'm going to lay out the whole war crime. So inside, like in the middle of Tokyo, in the middle of the Tokyo, mostly from the whole length of Tokyo, mostly in the middle would be the high rank of a bunch of mafia crime bosses, and half the time a lot of shit like that. Issei is going there. Now, what's it called? Matsui, who is Blade, who his name is Blade, the Blade, is going, well, mostly in the outer from the middle. And in the outskirts would be Joker, but yeah. Now, of course, we go into mostly Joker and what happened to him. Now, we go into Joker right now just sitting on a stack of money and money and money. But some of that money has blood on it. And, of course, we go into, well, mostly, well, yeah, Joker, who is Murahama. Joker right now has a mask. That the mask kind of is white, but has two, like, what's it called, cross star symbols in the middle of the, well, mostly in the eye shape. But of course, where, well, the mouth is actually just a smile. But yeah, this is where he has it, the side of his head, having green hair. Well, mostly, what's it called? Murahama has green hair that kind of has red patches, thanks to that some of his blood. Well, not his blood in generally. It's mostly the people's blood, because around him it's just tons and tons of bodies, bullets on the ground. And of course, most of those bodies have no heads. Some of them don't have even limbs or arms or whatever. And we go into, well, Matsui having the scythe behind him. And it's right now dripping with blood. The red scythe it has. He has a red scythe. This is where, well, a dual-wielded kind of scythe mostly. Because once, there's not actually, what's it called? It's a dual-wielded scythe. So, one blade to the side, one blade to the, well, mostly one blade to the right, one blade to the left. But yeah, it looks like a pickaxe. Don't worry about it. But this is where, well, it's dripping with blood. But yeah. This is where, well, Matsui says, thank God I have so much cash. Well, not Matsui, mostly Murahama saying, ha, got so much fucking cash. Now I would never be in debt, unlike my previous life. This is where, well, mostly Murahama is just grinning like a madman. This is where, well, we go into mostly Matsui's POV. Matsui has just, all around him is nothing but bullets. He literally has two smoking guns. Well, yeah, two smoking guns right now in his hand. While around him is just a bunch of bullets, blood everywhere. Of course, swords stab upon a bunch of people. This is where, well, Matsui also has a giant sword behind him, mostly like he's holding onto it. But of course, there's like a bunch of like dead bodies all around. Of course, where, well, Matsui says, it'd be a good time for a drink. He drops both of his guns and right now pulls out this like mostly bottle. And it's like a very expensive kind of bottle of like alcohol. And that's just because he stole it from a vault. And this is where, well, he gets like this little glass bottle and start drinking it. This actually tastes good. It bursts my throat, but it tastes good. So yeah, we go into now, well, Issei, who is now known as Code Shark. This is where, well, we go into Shark's POV. Now, instead of being all bloody and massacre and other things, unlike, well, Joker or Blade, we go into Issei. Issei right now is cleaning out some of his coat. Well, not been cleaning it. He's pretty much just putting it back on. And when he, well, we turn behind him, and behind what's it called, Issei's POV, because it looks like Issei is leaving. Behind him, it looks clean, less dirty, and less bloody than the others. Well, it's actually more bloody than bodies, because there's actually 0 bodies there. It seems to be all eaten alive. It's like what's it called? Something ate them easily. There's not many bullets and other things, but yeah. This is where, well, his eyes turn mostly the cigarette, mostly the white in your eye, turn black, and of course has a red slick eye, but yeah, he's grinning like a madman. And just walking away. Of course, there's like money litter around, alcohol litter around, just a bunch of shit. There's also guns and other things, but yeah. But the one thing he did take was a lot of these kind of, well, it looks to be like glass bottles that are for Phoenix tears and anything supernatural. He just took any of that shit because it would be so interesting for himself. It needed from himself because he will use it against the supernatural, mostly the underworld. This is where, well, we go into Issei walking out of this place. This is where, well, he gets towards, well, meeting up with Murahama, Matsui, and, well, mostly, yeah, Matsui and Murahama on top of the skyscraper. And this is where Issei talks to them, saying, so, how was it, Joker and Blade? This is where, well, they meet up with their leader named Shark. Codename is Shark. And of course, they feel this immense power that he just has. Yes, when Issei slaughtered them all by using Shark to eat them all in an instant, he basically got the power, mostly their energy and magical kind of power. But they didn't really have much magical power since they were just human. But he got a ton. His power just increased a lot. But this is where, well, mostly they kind of say, so, what do we do now? It was pretty much the easiest thing to gain money. Mostly, what's it called, Murahama said. Mostly we said, it was a good time to get a drink. It was free most of the time. This is where, well, Issei said, well, you know what it's time. It seems that we kill enough time over here in Tokyo. It's time to get rid of the cocoa bean. This is where, well, they both chuckle and say, understood. This is where, well, Murahama sober, well, not Murahama, Matsui sober up so fast, and this is where Murahama just grins, saying, let's do it then. We go into mostly the POV fight between, well, mostly Sona and Ria's Parage versus Cocoa Bean, but yeah. But not just, what's it called, Sona and Ria's. It seems the White Dragon Empress is here also. Right now helping. So, this is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Both of them kind of nodded, and this is where, well, they started kind of, well, sorry, I got distracted a little bit. So, the White Dragon Empress is here to actually help the new Red Dragon Emperor. Now, of course, she never met Issei, but of course, she doesn't even know this is the newest Red Dragon Emperor. Now, thanks to Albion and, well, Drake are kind of fighting against Cocobile. Now, of course, they seem not to be the most powerful against Cocobile. Cocobile is actually just grinning at them because the Red Dragon Emperor still hasn't mastered his power fully. He is in what's it called Balance Breaker, but of course, he isn't that powerful. But yeah, now Drake has actually noticed this. He's not as powerful as Issei when Issei used Balance Breaker. Now, of course, he doesn't understand. Issei has gotten stronger without him. Now, this is where he's probably regretting it because, well, even this guy named Koro, he is quite perverted, but he's a, like, closet pervert. What's it called? Issei wasn't much of a closet pervert. He was, like, pretty much for an actual pervert, but yeah. Like, he just did a lot of pervert stuff. But this is where, well, Drake doesn't understand what to do. Now, of course, where, well, he knows his host has actually been looking at Valerie for the couple of minutes and seconds and other stuff. Of course, trying to just get a peek most of the time, but yeah. But this is where Valerie doesn't actually pay attention to him much, even though she knows that this Red Dragon Emperor is pretty fucking weak. Like, god damn it. She'd rather fight someone else, but yeah. Or get help by someone else. Literally anyone else. Now, of course, this is where the Exorcists are also trying to fight back. Mostly they're fighting against Reed, and of course, yes, this time, what's it called? Mostly Kiba managed to awaken, what's it called? Awaken mostly the Holy Demonic Sword. And this is where, well, Freed says, huh? How did you? This is where before Freed can even get his sword destroyed, mostly the Excalibur fragment, it was absolutely just grabbed out of his hand in an instant. mostly freeze like sword, mostly hand. He was about to kind of slash at what's it called? Well, Kiba, but this is where his sword is gone. Now, of course, this is where he did get slashed by another person with blonde hair, but glasses. Name was it called Arthur, and of course, both not Sanji, mostly both Arthur and Kiba wind their eyes, realizing that they easily cut free them. But where's his sword at? This is where we go into someone right now being in the trees and laughing at the exorcist Kiba and Arthur. This is where they look up and they see someone right now drinking a little bottle of alcohol, like taking a sip of it. And this is where the person right now has the Excalibur, literally just mostly kind of just using the hilt and kind of swinging it to right, left. This is where the priestess says, "Who the hell are you?" Wait, no, I know who you are. You're what's it called, Matsui. What? Why did you take his Excalibur away? And how are you even able to hold it? No. What are you doing? This is where Matsui says, "Getting rid of you scumbags." He drinks a little bit more, and this is where, mostly the priestess gets angry, and this is his head is cut off in an instant. Falls down to the ground in an instant. This is where, mostly it was none other than Matsui having the sword of Excalibur fragment, using it against the priestess. Pathetic as hell. This is where Matsui kind of said. This is where Matsui looks at the exorcist, Arthur, and even what's it called, Kiba. This is where Matsui thinks of it being a good idea to kind of mention Arthur's last name because he does have the power of Pendragon. And this is where, Matsui says, it's not my style to use a holy sword or any of that. Isn't that right, Pendragon? This is where Arthur says, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, don't give me that bullshit. Your name is Arthur Pendragon. Here, have your Excalibur fragments. I don't need it. Bye." He drinks a little bit more from alcohol. Mostly he drinks more of alcohol. This is where Kiba was rushing at him. This is where Matsui throws the small bottle straight into Kiba's face. This is where Kiba's eyes literally get burned thanks to the alcohol. It was mostly kind of like 60% alcohol. Drink that mostly Matsui was drinking. This is where Kiba says, you damn it. Matsui says, "Don't be too mostly shame of you. You couldn't even find me even if I was drunken, Kiba. Yuta." This is where Kiba tries to get up and tries to attack him, but this is where his sword is literally easily shattered in an instant. Even though it was a holy demonic sword, it was easily destroyed thanks to Matsui summoning out one of his actual greatest swords. One of his actual national treasures to easily cut and destroy the sword of holy demonic sword from Kiba. Kiba wiped his eyes. He's like, "Ugh, but no. It might be strong and powerful, but it's only a glass cannon from its true potential." You're quite pathetic, Kiba. Other than that, see ya. This is where, mostly Matsui disappears in an instant. This is where, Kiba widened his eyes. He activated a new sword. He created a new sword thanks to his, mostly sword's name. I forgot, Forge Bringer, or whatever it's called. This is where, he just realized he lost it. He can create it again, but he just thought he lost it really. This is where, we go into, mostly Murahama. Murahama is seeing a battle between some yokais, not really some yokais, mostly two yokais who are cats fighting against a fallen angel. Fallen angel with 6 wings. This is where the 6-winged fallen angels are saying, "Let's do this. Let's kill them." This is where their heads were easily taken off of their body. This is where Murahama lands down on the ground. And this is where, Murahama has his mask on his face, but this is where he puts it to the side and says, "Quite pathetic indeed." This is where, both of the yokais were in their eyes. One had black hair and golden eyes, while the other had white hair and golden eyes. "You must be Koneko. Interesting. And you must be, I don't fucking know. But I don't care. Really? I don't give a damn that much. But see ya." This is where, Murahama disappears in an instant. Pretty much just switching places with a Joker card falling down the ground and stabbing to the ground. This is where the Joker card then exploded. This is where both of them were winding their eyes. Now, this is where, mostly Kokubel saying, "You people can't defeat me at all. I'm the strongest. No one will be able to defeat me at all. You people can't even dare to even think about it. You White Dragon Empress is useless against me. The Red Dragon Empress is also useless." This is where he kicks the White Dragon Empress away, and this is where he grabs the Red Dragon Emperor and throws him down to the ground in an instant, shattering his armor. This is where, Drake says, I can't help you no more, partner. This is where, well, he's laughing mostly Coco Bell, and this is where the White Dragon says, damn it, Albion. Albion says, I still have a little bit more power. You still can contain a little bit more power. It seems the Red Dragon Emperor seems to be way too weak. Damn it. That idiot. Now, I should mention one thing. Kuroko did manage to use his actual ability as a borrow power ability, but one of the weakest, and actually it's supposedly strong for everyone sensory, but it's weak. It's also kind of an increase of double times. Well, kinda. It actually comes way slower than what's it called. Well, not double times. It's mostly called what's it called? What's it called? Wait, it's cloning. Yeah, it's cloning. He can clone himself with using borrow power, but the problem is, it's a weaker version than that of Morty Gems. But yeah, and even Satan. But yeah, it's like a weaker version. This is where, well, the guy was right now on the ground right now, kind of sick. This is where he couldn't even clone himself no more. Couldn't even use Drake's power. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly what's it called? This is where, well, Coco Bill right now was making a giant light spear in the air, saying, well, it's time for you, all of you, to die. I'm going to enjoy killing the White Dragon Empress and also the Red Dragon Emperor, and then killing the two devils that are basically from the, what's it called, 4 devil lords. Well, that's too bad. I can't wait to kill the sisters of the devil lords. Well, goodbye, you weaklings. That's where, well, everyone wiped their eyes. Even when Kiba and the others managed to get there, they were still kind of weakened and surprised with the new powers of 2 people. But yeah, since they didn't know who exactly they were. But this is where, well, Coco Bill was grinning until something stabbed upon him. His chest. This is where he coughed up some blood, right in his eyes. It looks like the teeth just kind of went through his chest. This is where something appeared around him, mostly underneath him. Something kind of being watery or something. It mostly looks like this. So pretty much it looks like this, but yeah.
Fireball!
This is where a giant shark kind of appeared behind Coco Bill. And Coco Bill was like, what is this? He's still making the giant light spear, but the light spear literally just got cut in an instant. Literally just got destroyed in an instant. This is where someone appeared right in front of him. Mostly in front of everyone, even the White Dragon Empress. This is where, well, he says, hey there, Coco Bean. It's been a while. This is where Coco Bean, you monster. What? I thought we had an agreement with each other. No, I only had an agreement with you when your useful runs out. I don't have an agreement with you fully. I never trusted you. You should have never trusted me. I'm a shark. And when I take that little bait, well, mostly when I see a big, huge bait, or mostly not bait, a huge, delicious power, I'm going to take it for myself. Megalodon. Megalodon really just rips into starting eating what's it called, Coco Bell. Coco Bell starts screaming, but of course there was nothing left but just blood smearing the ground. Issei grins in an instant with this mad-looking grin. This is where everyone wiped their eyes. Now, of course, Rios didn't even see Issei appear right in front of there. This is where Issei says, sweet. Now I can do this. This is where 10 wings appear from behind his back. This is where Issei literally flies up and says, well, I should be leaving here. It seems that it's time for me to disappear from this whole world, and the power, well, mostly to hide in the dark and never be seen again. Until next time, Rios Gremory, Red Dragon Emperor, and everyone here, I will annihilate you later. Actually, I can do this now. Hey, Red Dragon Emperor, I see that you're basically using the boosted gear. Did you sacrifice one of your arms? This is where, well, mostly, what's it called? Mostly it was a Kuroko says, what if I did? I can do this. This is where a miniature shark appears right now, ripping off his arm. This is where he screams in pain. This is where, well, he says, thanks you for the shark. Or mostly not shark, thank you for the treat. Red Dragon Emperor. Well, it seems that I have a piece of your, well, power now, Drake. I'm gonna use it. for my full advantage, and I will destroy you, Red Dragon. I wonder, should I slaughter your host now, or should I wait until you change a new host? Maybe I'll wait. Maybe you'll try to become someone. Maybe you would choose someone much, much more stronger. But don't worry, this piece of gem, this is where Issei takes out from the gauntlet that mostly had in the gem. He takes out two of the, mostly gauntlet had two gems, those circles. This is where he takes them out, and Issei says, "Don't worry, Drake. Even though I have them, and you think you might be able to take them back by going into my body and thinking that I will become your host now, think again." This is where Issei transformed the gems into a reddish color, and right now just disconnected any, mostly possession or energy with Drake. Meaning Drake will never be able to take back control of these energy, mostly the kind of power of mostly his. Is now Issei's. This is where Issei kind of just like grabs him, and of course where something appears, mostly like this shark. This is where he drops him into a shark's mouth, and this is where the shark ate him. And this is where Issei say, "Boost!" This is where he now increases his power. This is where Issei's chuckling and saying, "This is such interesting power. Well, I'll be leaving, Drake, and all you pathetic devils." Oh, you're the White Dragon Empress. That's quite interesting. Well, I should probably kill you too. You're quite annoying. This is where, well, the White Dragon Empress was about to jump away until one of her wings were literally cut off and mostly just chomped on. This is where she won her eyes. Yes, I'll be taking a few bit of your power also, White Dragon Empress. But other than that, I should be leaving now. See ya, with your one-armed bastard. Bye, one-armed bastard. This is where he's just waving at them. And this is where, well, he then kind of brings out a sword out of nowhere and just slashes mostly the air, and of course makes a riffle. This is where, well, he appears next to, well, mostly he kind of uses something to kind of grab both, what's it called? Mostly Matsui and Murahama, just throw them into the portal. This is where Issei says, "See ya, suckers." Issei flips them off in an instant. This is where all of them wind their eyes. The power that Issei now displays is now he has the power of Kokubil and even the Red Dragon Emperor and the White Dragon Empress. But this is where he disappears in an instant. This is where, well, mostly one of his wings literally transform into that of the White Dragon Empress wings. That of the Sacred Gear, but it's kind of black version. So yeah, one of his wings literally just transformed. But yeah, he now has 11 wings, but don't worry about that. This is where, well, Issei appears into this dark dimension portal. Now, of course, he doesn't know where he was sent, but he didn't care. He just needed to get out of there, because if the White Dragon Empress or even Red Dragon Emperor decide to get serious, they would have used Juggernaut Drive. Now, of course, he knows about that whole shit, and that's why he decides to avoid it. Now, of course, the two things that he just took, 2 gems and 2 gems from, well, the White Dragon and even the Red Dragon Emperor. Mostly they're kind of gems and other things. Now, he knows that they both have hosts, and they're corrupted as hell. So, of course, he's going to work upon those 2 gems, well, mostly 4 gems, to control their powers without losing lifespan of himself. So, yeah. Does it work? Well, Issei is grinning because he now has these 4 gems, and this is where he's just flying around this dark dimension place. Even what's it called, well, mostly Joker and what's it called, Matsui are running, and this is where they appear into mostly a dimension. A dimension with some people. Now, they look confused, and this is where, well, Issei doesn't have his wings, he's mostly walking around this place because this place was interesting. It's mostly his sword cut into a rift or something, but he doesn't care. Exploring is fun when maybe there's something quite interesting for him to take. But yeah. Now, of course, the word, well, Issei is just walking around here, and this is where he says, "Sweet. I wonder what kind of treat or reward I would get in this place." This is where they walk in, and they see kind of these, like, people. One girl with kind of blondish hair and kind of, well, mostly reddish eyes that she has in her eyes. And this is where, well, they kind of see Issei and the others. And this is where, well, she's not alone. She's actually with kind of other people. Seems 2 yokais, but they seem to have 9 tails. One has white fur, and the other one kind of has, like, this black fur. This is where, well, they kind of look at, well, Issei and what's it called, Matsui Murahama. This is where Matsui Murahama gets on guard. Issei, he doesn't seem to get on guard. He actually looks at them with this confused look, because he wasn't expecting yokai and a girl and other people appearing there. This is where, well, he noticed all of them and sees, well, another girl with kind of black hair, two ponytails, kind of wearing a red dress, having two guns, and one of her eyes is red and one of them is like a clock, kind of like clock time thing or whatever. Of course, he doesn't care. This is where he kind of looks at all of them. All of them has this different kind of abilities, which is interesting to him. Which you might just take them because, yeah, he has the power to do it. This is where, well, let's see, Issei is walking without a care in the world. And this is where, well, one of them gets up because there seems to be on a table, floating on a table most of the time. And this is where she lands down right in front of Issei. And this is where, well, this person is blondish hair with reddish eyes. This is where Pellish rose blondish hair. This is where she scoffed and says, "What is a man doing here?" She kind of said with such disdain in her voice. Issei said, "Huh? Oh, what am I doing here? Looking for rewards and other stuff." "Why is that?" "Well, can I not be here?" She scoffs and says, "Of course not. People like you, especially humans, shouldn't be here." And what are you gonna do about it? Kick me out?" This is where, well, she grins and says, "No, I'm gonna kill you." This is where she was about to send a red sword right in front of him. Well, not red sword. Mostly she makes a red sword and of course tries to cut him. This is where something appeared behind him like this giant bear trying to hit Issei. And this is where both Joker and even Musty just scoffs, seeing the giant bear. And this is where, well, the giant bear was easily taken out from behind Issei. Issei said, "Megalodon, kill him." This is where Megalodon started ripping into this like stuffed bear because it was actually a stuffed bear. This is where, well, the person was in their eyes, but their sword was instantly grabbed by Matsui, or not Matsui, by Issei. Issei says, he just scoffs and says, "You're quite pathetic in an instant. You just saw your stupid stuffy bear get easily cut down into a million pieces, or mostly rip a shred, and now you're actually kind of getting sad about it? Huh, you're quite pathetic." This is where Issei pushes her away in an instant, and this is where she gets angry. She activates her wings in an instant. These wings are kind of dark and red. This is where Issei scoffs and says, "I see, so you're a fallen." "Don't give me that bullshit title. I'm not a fallen, I'm not a scumbag like those people." "I see, so you kind of have probably some father issue problems, but I don't care." Mother-father issues, I don't give a damn. This is where, well, she rushes at Issei with blinding speed trying to cut him down. This is where Issei jumps away, and of course just kind of laughing at her just because how weak she is. This is where, well, she gets angry, and this is where she started sending out to a dark red spear straight towards Issei. They're dark, they're not light spears, they're actually dark red spears. This is where Issei dodges the right and left and just keeps dodging, and it feels kind of sinister, this magic. Yes. Seems that this person is a fallen angel, but instead of having light spears, she has dark spears. This is where, well, Issei says, you're actually dodging. Well, not dodging. I'm mostly dodging them. You're quite pathetic. This is where she appears behind him, trying to cut him down with the sword. And this is where Issei says, "You're quite annoying." Also, Takamako blade. This is where he uses the blade to literally easily cut the blade in an instant, mostly her blade. This is where she widened her eyes, and this is where the sword was right near her neck, just kind of cutting into her neck a little bit. Issei scoffs and says, "You know you're being quite pathetic and annoying, like a bug trying to take out a great shark like me. You know you should just give up right now. And besides, I wouldn't even hurt you. I don't even know you exactly. Don't know your abilities, don't know your powers. So, I was just looking around here for mostly a fine. My true quest and why I'm here," this is what Issei kind of said, "is just to look for a hideout. Because the devils, fallen angels, and much more things are going to go after us. Probably mostly the devils." This is where, well, she scoffs and says, "And why should I listen to you?" "Because I'm the one with the sword and can easily cut you." This is where, well, either you listen to me or die. I don't care. This is where she scoffs and kind of keeps looking at him with angry look. But this is where, well, she kind of then looks away because she has a tint of blush. This is where, well, Issei kind of notices. This is where he kind of grins a little bit. This is where, well, Masumi Murahama says, "So what do we do?" "Don't know." Listen to her for a second. This is where, well, he only looks at the girl, and this is the girl saying, "Fine, I'll let you stay here. Just don't get in our way." "Okay. Besides, you don't need to get in our way. We can just do a deal here. Don't get in our way, and we won't get in your way." So, how about that? Fine. This is where, well, she snaps her fingers, and this is where this dark dimension actually switches into being like this giant mansion house. And this is where, well, Issei is right now floating up in the sky, which everyone is falling, even the other people. This is where all of them kind of activate abilities or make a magic platform or something like that. This is where, well, Masui Murahama says, oh, god damn it, we don't have things like that. This is where Issei is falling. This is where Issei kind of just spreads out his wings. And his wings, instead of being black, they're actually blue. Instead of being black, but yeah. It seems that it just changes the color for his, like, color of his hair. And this is where both Masui Murahama say, fuck you, Issei! This is where, well, mostly they're kind of confused because they thought those two others can actually, like, use their kind of magic to make platforms. This is where, well, the blondish hair girl noticed Issei's wings, and this is where Issei says, guys, it's not that hard. You guys are idiots. This is where Joker is right now thinking how to do this. And this is where he then throws a Joker card up. This is where, oh, he then kind of, well, not Joker card up. Well, he does. He throws one up and one down. This is where it smashes to the ground. And this is where he kind of switches cards to teleport up in the air. And this is where he tries to use his scythe to grab onto, well, Issei. Issei just kind of grabs it and then says, you know, I'm gonna let go, right? This is where, well, Murahama says, I know you are, but goodbye. This is where he teleports, making a Joker card appear right in front of Issei. And Issei says, oh, you motherfucker. An explosion happens, but this is where Issei makes a shield. Issei says, you prick. This is where, well, mostly Masui, not Masui, Murahama grabs the card, and this is where, well, Masui landed in a hot spring, literally smashed upon it. Mother! That was quite interesting. But I'm back to being sober. And I like being drunk most of the time. So, of course, he pulls out a beer bottle just to drink it, but yeah. This is where, oh, they're all sweater, mostly the females, because he looks like a total of a bunch of females. And this is where Issei kind of landed down to the ground and kind of just using his wings. This is where, well, Issei say, quite interesting. So, this is where, well, Issei looks up towards the girl and says, so, you with red eyes, where the hell did you go? This is where she appeared next to him and says, okay, listen up here. I don't know who exactly your names are, and I don't really care, Mr. the blondish hair girl said. But from your call, it seems that one of your friends call you Issei. Scoff. You fucking morons. This is where, well, they switch up a little bit and tease the glare from their kind of leader. And this is where, well, he says, so what if it's Issei? Not the point. You can stay here forever how long, just don't get in our way when we're absolutely going to take out, well, the supernatural. Okay? Or some people, don't worry about that. This is where she kind of said, and this is where Issei said, sure, what do you want? So, as a deal, I'll let you stay here at this mansion. Now, this place is mostly in a dimension far away from the dimensional gap and, well, the other dimension of humanity and other gods. So, yeah. Issei says, I see. Huh. So there's more sword that she let me. This is where, well, she kind of looks at him with confused look. This is where, well, he says, never mind. You don't need to figure out what I did. This is where, oh, she scoffs and says, fine. Just stay in this mansion and don't you dare peep on us. This is where, well, Issei scoffs and says, and why would I peep on you? This is where, well, the girl scoffs and says, because you're guys, and most guys are usually lustful. And how do you know I'm not lustful at all? Well, that's because, actually, I don't even sense a little bit of lust from you. Exactly. I don't care. I have things to do. So, pretty much any room is mine, right? This is where, well, she scoffs and says, mostly on the other side. So right side and left side are kind of guys and girls. Now, we didn't really have guys in our group, so yeah, still the same rule applies here. This is where, well, he said, okay, I'm going to the right side then. This is where mostly right side is for guys and left side for girls. This is where, oh, Issei uses his wing to fly over there, but yeah. This is where, well, Matsui kind of saying, this is a good alcohol. I don't know what the hell happening. This is where, well, Hama smacks his face and says, shit, give me a fucking drink, you bastard. This is where, well, he says, got it. You're pouring out a drink to start drinking. Even though they're in the hot springs, but yeah. This is where she scoffs and thinks that these guys are morons, but yeah. Except for the blue hair. Named Issei. His name is Issei, and he's not that lustful. Neither is the other two guys, but he seems to be the most stronger than any of the other two. Seems to be more powerful than normal. having, well, wings that are blue instead of being black or any of that. Which you can't really complain because her wings are kind of black and red. But yeah. But of course, this is where she kind of scoffs and just decides to fly towards the others to explain what is happening. But yeah. But for right now, I'm going to leave it off here for part 2 of what if Issei lost the booster gear. But yeah. So, Issei is going... Let me explain something before I end it off. Issei is going to gain somewhat of booster gear and somewhat of divine gear. They're not as going to be the actual divine and booster gear, but pretty much it's not going to have Drake or Albion, so pretty much it's just his power that he's going to combine together to actually become his, like actual his power, while having the two kind of curse human souls inside her, or even the power of what's it called, Drake or Albion. Mostly the spirits of Drake or Albion, but yeah. But yeah, it would just have me having the power of divide and, well, boost. But yeah, he won't be losing any lifespan, but yeah. But other than that, I will end it off here. I just wanted to explain that. But other than that, yeah, bye. See ya.